Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Fultz. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona and away. Go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Spark Truck Series here at the Spark Racing League. We're at Michigan International Speedway, round 4 of season 1, and it's going to be a good one on the High Bank 2-mile track up north. As always, I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Bring the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, drivers are out on track qualifying. Now coming into tonight, Evan Pienta is your points leader, 96 points, but Rye Jones in second, 91 points, is closing the gap. Brian Brope's also been having a good streak here as well, sitting in third. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes down here today. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers will frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor device, and if they don't, they just about always go back and watch this thing over. As it looks like drivers getting on the line. And let's go ahead and run through this starting order. On pole, it's Jacob Bradley, the number 50 machine. Chad Waller starting second. Chris Smith starts third. Sam Cosner starting fourth. Rye Jones starting fifth. Devin Jack starting sixth. Johnny Rapp starts seventh. Tony Caputo starting eighth. Jeremy Rigney starts ninth. Evan Pienta starting 10th. Robert Brope starts 11th. We've got Brian Bropes accompanying Robert in the 12th place spot. Cycling it back, Chad Mueller starting 13th. Dustin Bali, the road race ringer, starting 14th. Ashton Cosner starting 15th. Corey Moore starts 16th. Patrick Hardgrove starting 17th. Hunter Cole starting 18th. Mark Bish starting 19th. Clifton Simmons starting 20th. Chase Berry starting 21st. Dade Grajewski starts 22nd. Robert Amaral starting 23rd. Peter Stewart starts 24th. And let's cycle it back one final time. Nick Serif starting 25th. And Nathan Gentry will round out the 26 truck field here today. What a beautiful shot of our competitors lined up on pit road. Getting ready to follow out our iRacing safety car. Looks like everybody has made it out. And we're going to roll them out behind the iRacing safety car, waiting on Jacob Bradley to wake up in that number 50 machine. There we go. And we are going to get some trucks rolling here at Michigan. What a cool shot. 26 drivers making their way out. And we get them stacked up behind the iRacing safety car here at Michigan International. Now, I believe this is technically considered a super speedway. It's no Daytona, it's no Talladega, but we might see speeds of 200 miles an hour out here tonight. There's Jacob Bradley, number 50 Chevrolet. He qualified in pole position. Behind him, that is the 28 Ford of Chris Smith. Chad Waller will be starting up on the high side with Sam Cosner tucked in behind. Now it is 63 laps, one green-white checker attempt. Drivers have 70% fuel allotment. 2 sets of tires behind pit wall, and no fast repair if they find themselves in a little bit of damage. Here goes the iRacing safety car getting ready to come down pit road. And we are green flag racing, round 4 of the season. Bradley's going to guard that inside line. Looks like he hints at throwing a block on Chad Waller's 66 machine. Chris Smith trying to get some ground going. That number 28, he's ripping the low line right behind them. That's Cosner and Jones side by side for 4th. Now keep an eye out for Jones. He's second in points and wants a good finish tonight. Evan Pienza, the number 55 machine, currently 9th out on track, is your points leader. Now we're going to see some different strategies here tonight. Drivers that want to push hard early on, and then drivers that are going to kind of hang back a little bit and maybe wait for some trucks to prematurely damage themselves. Michigan can lead to some good 3-wide racing. Bradley holding on to the race lead. That's Chad Waller tucked in behind. Let's go a little bit further back. And it is a busy racetrack as it looks like that's Caputo trying to make a move on Johnny Rapp's 52 machine, but we've got somebody off track. It's Jeremy Rickney, the number 10 machine, able to avoid coming up into a hot track, so a good save there from Jeremy Rickney. Let's see what happened there. Surely there must have been some sort of contact very early for these guys to be getting loose. Well, look like a tiny bit of contact. Number 24, I believe that was Dustin Bali involved in the contact. Thankfully, no caution and no further incidents. And we've got a good old-fashioned battle for the lead here. Chad Waller, Jacob Bradley side by side. Sam Cosner, Devin Jack, the number 49 machine, closing up behind as we go 2 wide and 2 rows deep up front. Little bit of a breakaway there from Chris Smith sitting in 5th, the number 28 machine. The top 4 built up almost a half-second advantage. Devin Jack on the low line there, trying to slide up in front of Cosner. Doesn't look like he's going to quite get clear there as Cosner pulls about 0.05 of a second back to his name. Jack still trying the inside line, trying to make this high banks at Michigan as short as possible. He slides up in front of Cosner and takes over that 3rd place position. Now, if we go further back, Ashton Cosner, the number 34 machine, just clicked off a very fast lap, a 40.08 the lap prior. That will be the fastest lap of the day, but look how busy the racetrack is here as we go 3 wide. Is that Bali in the middle I see, the number 24 machine? I think it was. So you've got Bali, Jones, and Cosner with a little bit of 3 wide shenanigans here. And we hint at going 2 rows deep, 3 wide action. Number 34 machine of Cosner. Now that's Patrick Hardgrove in the middle now. Hardgrove squeezed between Cosner, and that's going to be Brian Brobes, the number 11 machine, who's up high. And these guys are putting on a show here today. I'm going to see if I can get an onboard that I'm looking for. Onboard with Tony Caputo there. Shows how busy the racetrack is just ahead of them. You can see Robert Brobes, Patrick Hardgrove, Brian Brobes. Bry Jones is there in the mix. Now this is the racing we've come to expect out of these drivers. As I believe there's Brian Brobst on the low line, side by side with Jones. This is the battle for 9th on screen. Now we're expecting the fuel window to be about 21 laps out here today, but something has happened to Tony Caputo, and that is going to bring out the caution as the number 14 machine found himself with the wall. Let's see how hard it was for Caputo. Just 3 trucks trying to occupy the same spot there. And unfortunately, a hard hit for Caputo. I want to get one more angle of that and see who else was involved. Not quite able to spot it there on the Spark Racing instant replay, but that is going to be our first caution of the night. Now, the fuel window we were expecting was about 21 laps. Let's see, does anybody come down pit road? Tony Caputo did, but I think that was kind of a gimme with the damage on the front end of that number 14 machine. And a late move onto pit road for Chad Waller, with the majority of the field following him. But the number 28 of Chris Smith and the 46 of Chase Berry are going to opt to stay out here for the track position. I would imagine we're not going to see many drivers take 4 tires in this stop, or any tires really. At least on purpose. As I say that, I see a couple. Looks like Sam Cosner might have taken 4. Johnny Rapp might have taken 4. Ashton Cosner looks to have taken 4. As well as Corey Moore, Nathan Gentry, and Hunter Cole. An interesting call, only 9 laps in, taking tires. Now the drivers that we think took 4 tires, they're going to be starting from about 12th place back on this restart. So I don't think Chris Smith, Chase Berry, who are going to be starting in the front row, are in too much danger here as far as being overtaken too quickly. So it's going to be Smith and Berry your front row, Waller and Jack your second row, Bradley and Bali will be starting the third row. With his decision to stay out, Chase Berry now up 19 positions here. Starting on the high side in that beautifully painted number 46 machine. There's the 28 of Chris Smith in the Ford F-150. He'll be starting on the inside line. I believe pace car will be coming down pit road this time by. So we're all lined up 2 wide. Looks like everybody's still out on track. Tony Caputo was able to rejoin the racing surface and stay on the lead lap of the number 14 machine. Hopefully he's not too far down on power after that massive hit he took. We get ready for our racing safety car to come down pit road. And here we go, the first restart of the night. Start's going to be on green, and we are racing once more. Chris Smith off the line, strong. Chad Waller, the number 66, is going to try and follow on the inside line, see if he can wiggle around Chase Berry in that Toyota, who's staying up high. Now, cautions breed caution, so the drivers who opted for the track position might be in a good spot here. There's Bradley and Jack side by side. About the third row here as we jockey for position. Oh, and there was a big slide there from Devin Jack in that 49. I think that was Jones he cut up in front of. Thankfully, no contact. Chris Smith still holding on to the race lead. Chase Berry following suit as we are 3 wide once more. And these guys are putting on a show. We're only 12 laps in, and Rye Jones is stuck in the middle there. Everybody's trying to get sorted out. Looks like we're going to break it back down single file. I don't think we're going to see many green flag runs if these guys are showing this amount of aggressiveness. I saw somebody up top. Was that Pienta? That was Pienta in the number 55 machine. For a moment, it looked like he was maybe letting some of the field by, but I think he's trying to get some momentum built up on that high side. He's got the number 5 of Robert Brobes tucked in behind him. You can see Johnny Rapp's 52 machine down low. And that's Brian Brobes getting pinballed around there between Bali and Pienta. I don't think Brian Brobes knew he was 3 wide until it was too late. Pienta tucks in behind Brian Brobes. Brobes side by side with Bali. This is Bali's first appearance here at the Spark Truck Series. And man, Pienta keeps hinting at some 3 wide action. I think now he's going to opt to push Brobes up a little bit as the field checks up behind him. But let's go up front. We've also got 3 wide action. You've got Barry, Jones, and Jack 3 wide for second. Somebody's off track. That's Devin Jack, who's able to collect himself. Jack's going to fall all the way back to 10th now. Hopefully he didn't get the tires too greasy, too hot, as he now has an uphill battle. Chris Smith able to hold on to the race lead as Barry and Jones remain side by side for second. Now Smith in first, Barry in third. The only 2 drivers who have not come down pit road so far this race. But we expect their fuel window to open up in the next few laps, close around lap 22 to 23, depending on the amount of fuel saving they've been able to do. But Smith doing a good job holding on to it, as it looks like the top 6 drivers were going single file. Must have known I was going to say that. He immediately hop out of formation as we tried to get 2 wide, 2 deep once more. And look at Ryan Jones, the number 7 machine, right on the back bumper of Smith at 28. Not sure if Jones is going to try and get around him here, or maybe just bide his time, knowing that Smith is going to have to come down pit road. You've also got Chad Waller trying some alternative lines in that 66 Ford F-150. Waller down 2 spots from where he started, but what's going on back here? Things were getting a little bit hectic. There's Ashton Cosner, 34, the inside line. Up top, that's going to be Peter Stewart, the 91 machine. Oh, and we are crashing. Patrick Hardgrove down pit road. Jeremy Rigney parked on the infield. Is this going to bring out the caution, I wonder? Looks like we're going to stay green here. So look at this aggressive pit entry for Patrick Hardgrove. Comes screaming down pit road. Drives through. Not sure if that penalty is going to get cleared or not. Not quite sure what the ruling is. We've seen in the past with other oval series, if you have to go down pit road because you're involved in a wreck or to avoid a wreck, sometimes that black flag penalty can get cleared, but it depends if race control thinks that Hardgrove may have caused that incident, if we might see that number 74 machine serve a penalty. We've got Matthew here cheering on Rye Jones at number 7 as he currently sits second, up 3 spots from where he started. Chase Berry in that 46 machine opted to stay out, doing a good job staying up here in the top 3. And here comes Johnny Rapp in that 52. He's gained 3 spots so far, trying to make it 4 against Berry. Jones and Berry still side by side for second. Rapp's got some momentum here. And it looks like Rapp might get that 3rd place position. It's going to be close as he's still side by side with Berry. Rapp running a little bit higher line, Berry down low. And some drivers, such as Corey Moore, piloting the number 2 Toyota Tundra, hit 201 miles an hour last lap by. Your second place driver, Rye Jones, also hit 201 miles an hour. So these guys are ripping around the banks at Michigan. Jones all over the back of Smith. I think Jones might have the pace here to make something happen against Smith, but I don't know if he really sees the need to. Knowing that number 28 machine's got to be getting close to needing to come down pit road, but look at that, it's Johnny Rapp, and that number 52 machine's going to be charging towards the front here. Now, Rapp, Jones, Cosner, Bradley, second, third, fourth, and fifth all came down pit road under that first caution on lap 8. Chris Smith, your race leader, and Chase Berry in fifth, the two drivers who have yet to come down pit road at all so far. And Rapp was doing a good job. He briefly, very briefly, took over the race lead from Smith. But you've got Jones and Cosner as well as Bradley here in that top 5 that are not going to make it easy. And with the draft here in Michigan, very difficult for anybody to break away from the pack. Smith holding on to it. Looks like Rapp is going to get a push there from Cosner in the 00 machine. We might see a little bit of teamwork happening here to take over the lead from Smith as they're trying to make it a 2-for-1. So Johnny Rapp is going to get a lap led here at Michigan as we've got somebody else. That's Brian Brobst, way off track, able to gather it up though, hold on to it. And I don't know if Brian lifted that whole time. Brian Brobst has had great speed all season, maybe fighting the consistency a little bit, but coming into tonight, Brian Brobst was third in points. Now it looks like Rye Jones is going to come down pit road for a green flag stop. We're still waiting for Chris Smith and Jacob Bradley to come down pit road. Rapp still leads the charge with Sam Cosner tucked in behind. So Jones is the only driver we've seen complete a green flag pit stop. Maybe trying something a little bit different on strategy. Cosner giving that push to Rapp to build up some pace. They've built up about 4/10 so far. Up over Chris Smith, who sits in third. That was Rye Jones rejoining the surface. He's going to go a lap down here with that lap 23 pit stop. I'm wondering if Jones is feeling something a little bit different on strategy. He's second in points, so he's got some good racecraft. And it looks like Jones is going to unlap himself the good old-fashioned way in that number 7, getting back on the lead lap. So the new tires definitely helping him out in that number 7, as he is quickly pulling away from the leaders there. So the new tires pretty handy. Right now, Rapp and Cosner about 1.2 seconds slower than their fastest laps of the race. Now, I don't know how much of that is going to be tire wear, or maybe those top 2 drivers doing a bit of fuel saving to try and make it till the end. We're expecting their fuel window to open up any lap now, close on lap 30-31. From what we heard of the drivers in practice anyway. Now this is interesting. Rapp and Cosner briefly getting offline. I wonder if they're trying to keep Chris Smith out of the draft behind, but Smith has other plans because he's got Bradley, Barry, Bali, and Pienta with him. And we're going side by side for the lead once more. Smith, Barry, Bali, all down pit road together. Cosner's going to get credit for a lap led here at Michigan. There's Jacob Bradley rapidly closing the distance as well, the number 50. I wonder if the top two are maybe doing a bit of fuel saving, especially Johnny Rapp. On pit road, it's Smith, Waller, Bali, and Barry. 4 drivers in together. So these are going to be the first en masse green flag pit stops we see here this evening. Cosner's still running up front. Looks like just about everybody's going to stay out for another lap here. Gabe Rajewski is going to go side by side with Nathan Gentry. That's the battle for 12th. Rajewski is up 10 spots. Gentry is up 13. Now something has happened to Chad Waller in that 66. He's been on pit road for 43 seconds and counting. So may have some damage to contend with. It's going to be a busy racetrack for race leader Sam Cosner as there's a lot of drivers getting back out onto the surface. Mark Fish is down pit road for his first green flag stop. Cosner has built up a 7/10 advantage over Johnny Rapp in second. Bradley's still in third. And it looks like they're going to try and stretch this run out as long as they can. Devin Jack in the number 49 machine down pit road. I think we're going to see some fuel saving games at play here for a large portion of the field. There's also Evan Pienta, the number 55, closing up to the top 3. Pienta running a much different line than the second and third place drivers. Was holding it a lot higher there through 1 and 2. Wonder if he's able to carry a little bit more momentum. There we go again. Pienta way up top while Rapp and Bradley are down low. Pienta staying right there with him, though. Maybe that's a bit of tire saving we're seeing from Pienta. And now he's tucked in behind the back of Jacob Bradley and still commits to the high line. Loving the multi-groove racing we're getting here tonight, as we are just past the halfway mark in today's main event. Again, thank you to the fans and friends and family. Join us at the Spark Truck Series every Wednesday night. Link is in the description here on YouTube. If you'd like to get on the action, check them out. They run a Monday short track series and then our Wednesday truck series. And here we go, Pienta right on the bumper of Jacob Bradley. And Bradley tucked right in behind Rapp as well. That was Devin Jack, the number 49 machine, coming out of pit road. Your top 18 drivers have not come down pit road since the lap 8 caution. Evan Pienta is going to move up into third here. Still running his high line as Rapp and Bradley run more of a low to center line. And then Pienta goes way down to the bottom through the start-finish line, trying to make this track as tight as possible. Corey Moore, that number 2 machine, he's down pit road. I don't know what Pienta's got going on there with that high line, but it seems to be working well for him, as he's been able to get around Jacob Bradley. And now right on the bumper of Johnny Rapp. Let's see if he makes another pass here through 3 and 4. We got Dylan Waldron join us in the spectator area. Always good seeing Dylan. As we watch, Evan Pienta has grabbed another spot, moved all the way up into second. We've got another batch of pit road entries. Robert Brobes, Peter Stewart, Brian Brobes, Nathan Gentry all down pit road. Clifton Simmons is going to join the pit lane party in that 38. Sam Cosner, your race leader, still has a 1 second margin over Pienta. Here we go. Cosner's going to come down pit road. Pienta was right there with him as well. Rapp and Bradley are going to stay out, so Rapp gets another lap led in that number 52 machine. On pit road now, Cosner, Pienta, Ashton Cosner, Nick Serif, Dave Grajewski. That's just going to leave Rapp, Bradley, Cole, and yeah, that's going to be it. The top 3 drivers, the only ones who have yet to come down pit road, as we just saw Robert Amaral, the 99 machine, coming down as well. Now, if I'm doing my math right up here in the broadcast booth, everybody's still going to have to pit, I believe, once more. There's Rapp and Bradley on pit road. I'm sure Cole is going to follow suit here. As it's a slow race down pit road. I think that may put Rye Jones as the leader. Got about, I think it was about 27 laps on fuel here. That means maybe, just maybe, Bradley and Rapp can make it till the end here on a tank of gas, and we were correct. Rye Jones is going to be your race leader. He came down pit road at lap 23. Dustin Bally in second. Chris Smith sitting in third. Looks like Hard Charger is going to be Chase Berry in that 46 machine, who is up 12 spots, sitting ninth right now on the track. There's Jones, the number 7 machine, as well as Bally. Bally trying to work the inside line as they cross the start-finish line. Jones is going to get credit for the lap led, but Bally keeping them honest here in the Toyota. Going into 1 and 2, it's side by side. Jones with a very slight advantage. Keep an eye out. Here comes Chris Smith as well, and I believe that's going to be a driver a lap down. Maybe that's Patrick Hardgrove trying to work his way through. No, that's going to be Jeremy Rigney. And the number 10 machine trying to unlap himself here. Bally and Jones linked up, nose to tail. And Chris Smith trying to follow Jeremy Rigney's number 10 machine, using the draft from lap traffic, as we are 25 laps left to go here at Michigan. Bally a little bit of a breakaway, 0.4 of a second advantage, as Jones and Smith trying to battle for second. Looks like that lap driver's been able to work their way through. Again, that is Jeremy Rigney, the number 10 machine, fighting tooth and nail to get back on the lead lap here. Now we got Dylan Waldron asking, is this the main event? Yes, this is for everything we've got. It was 63 laps on the board coming into tonight at Michigan. 24 laps left to go. We've had 1 caution so far, 1 green flag pit stop from the field, And we're wondering, can Evan Pienta and that's Pienta and Cosner 5th and 6th may be able to make it till the end on fuel. We'll really keep an eye out on Jacob Bradley and Johnny Rapp 8th and 9th. I think if they can make it to the line here without coming down pit road, they're going to be running on fumes. And if we get a caution, that's going to throw that whole strategy entirely out the window. Chase Berry, that 46, back down pit road, his second stop of the night. After this one, he'll be good to go to make it till the end here. Bally and Smith. Still first and second. Smith closing that gap. Jeremy Rigney was unable to lap himself against Dustin Bally. Chase Berry rolls out of pit road. As Smith looks to be hitting the hammer here. Also have another battle going on. Devin Jack and Rye Jones side by side for third. Or at least they were briefly side by side as Jones tucks back in behind. Jones came into tonight second in points. He just needs a good, strong finish. As next week, we're sending these drivers out onto a road course. We're going to Watkins Glen. And that is going to be an absolute shootout in these high horsepower trucks. Pienta came into tonight as the points leader, sitting in 5th, one spot behind Jones. I think if Jones finishes 4th and Pienta finishes 5th, Pienta would be able to hold on to the points lead. Speaking of lead, there goes Chris Smith as Rye Jones comes down pit road. Now both Smith and Bally came down pit road on lap 27, so we're expecting one more stop out of these drivers. This is going to be quite the interesting fuel mileage race. If we can see a couple dark horses make this thing happen on strategy. Now hopefully we'll see Dustin Bally, the number 24 machine, come out for Watkins Glen as well, as there's Chris Smith down pit road. Bally is an absolute animal when it comes to road courses, a bit of his specialty, so hopefully we see that number 24 machine out on track more often. Bally trying to work the draft of lap traffic to help his fuel numbers out a little bit. He's got a 1 second gap over Devin Jack, who's now up into second on strategy. Pienta back in third. I'm still interested to see Jacob Bradley, Johnny Rapp. They're running 6th and 7th. If I had to take a wager on who I felt most comfortable making it to the end here on fuel, it'd be those two. Still good racing as we watch Corey Moore, Tony Caputo battling for 16th. Both drivers were last in pit road on lap 33. Or the number 2 Toyota Tundra on the low side. Caputo, that number 14, we saw involved in a big incident early on here at Michigan. Making the best out of it in his number 14 Chevrolet Silverado. Dustin Bally is down pit road for what should be his final stop. Devin Jack gets credit for a lap led. The number 49 machine, Pienta, up into second. Cosner now third. Brian Bro's going to come down pit road, the number 11. Now Devin Jack Adds a little bit of lap traffic to contend with. I think that's Hunter Cole in the 37 machine. It is Cole getting his lap back. Or at least trying to. Cole's going to go a lap down here. A bit of a bobble. Pushes a little bit too wide there. Jack able to slide through. 16 laps left to go. Let's see how long Jack opts to stay out for here. And let's go further back. Corey Moore, Tony Caputo still side by side. Also have Rye Jones and Chris Smith linked up nose to tail after their pit stop. Maybe trying to work together and get some momentum built up. Robert Amaral hitting his pit stall for the final stop. Now, it looks like Caputo and Moore are catching up to Nick Seraph in that number 67 machine. Glad to see Seraph's misfortunes have kind of turned for the better here. Seraph, a very fast driver in the 67 machine, has been plagued with hardware issues all season long. Devin Jack comes down pit road, his final stop. Pienta takes over the race lead. Cosner and Robert Bropes now up into second and third. Jacob Bradley, Johnny Rapp will round out the top five now. What good racing. Here's a 3-truck battle. It's Gentry, Grajewski, and Ashton Cosner. Trying to find an opening here. Cosner on the low line, that 34 machine, but Gentry up top in the 4, ripping along the wall. Looks like they're going to shake off Grajewski, who's fallen a half-second back. Mark Fish rolling back out on track after his pit stop. Seraph and Moore going side by side. There's great racing all across here in Michigan. We've seen so much 3-wide racing. Great side-by-side, massive bump drafts. This track has pretty much everything we're looking for. Looks like Seraph, I was going to say, had the position up top. But Moore fires back on the inside, and Tony Caputo carrying a lot of speed up on the high side. It looks like late in the run, if you can hold the right line up top, you can really get momentum on the big straights here at Michigan. 12 laps left to go. The big question now is, who in the top 5 is going to be able to make it on fuel? Pienta and Cosner first and second. Last time they were on pit road was lap 35. Robert Bropes in third was 34 laps. And Bradley and Rapp together on the same pit strategy. Last time they were in was lap 36. Clifton Simmons in the 38, seeing that he's not going to be able to make it to the end, goes ahead and comes down pit road. Speaking of Pienta, might be doing some fuel saving. He was almost 2 seconds slower his last time by. That has allowed Sam Cosner in that 00 machine to catch up. Pienta always with this sharply painted 55 Chevy. Oh, and Pienta looked a little bit out of shape there. The slip angle he was carrying was absolutely massive. Looked like he was sliding around the banks. That can't be the fastest way around, but man, does it look cool. Robert Bropes comes down pit road. I almost wonder if Pienta got a little bit aero loose there as Cosner steps it out a little bit. Sometimes if you get a truck right behind you, it takes the air off that rear spoiler and really unloads the back end. So now it's Pienta, Cosner, Bradley, Stewart, and Rapp your top 5 as Cosner makes an effort to the inside line. They're going to be side by side coming to the line. Pienta had it by 0.02 of a second on that lap. But Cosner let him know, hey, I'm here and I'm ready to charge forward. Now I'm surprised Rapp fell so off the pace. I'm wondering if he had an incident that let Peter Stewart in the 91 machine by. Stewart, now our hard charger, as he is up 20 positions. Nathan Gentry right there with him. Gentry the 4, he's up 19 spots so far. We're fairly certain Cosner and Pienta are going to need to come down pit road. We just saw Jeremy Rigney coming down as well. But I think they're going to stretch it till the absolute limit in case there is a late race caution here. Peter Stewart down pit road, as I couldn't quite tell if that was Cosner or Pienta dragging the wall. We know Pienta looked a little bit loose the laps prior. So it's Cosner, Pienta, Bradley, your top 3, with Rapp and Cosner rounding out the top 5. No, Dustin Bali makes a pass for 5th. I wonder if Cosner's in fuel saving mode here. We're seeing a lot more drivers getting a little bit loose. That was Nathan Gentry, the 4, stepping out the back end. That may allow Devin Jack, who has fresher tires and more fuel underneath them, to slide on by. Jack takes over the 8th place spot. Now Rye Jones going to have a run at Gentry. With 7 laps left to go, I think you're seeing drivers who committed to the one green flag stop strategy have to really back off the pace to hit their fuel numbers. Cosner losing another spot there to Smith. Moore is down pit road. Something has happened to Mark Fish. I think he might have lost connection there, as he's no longer showing on live timing and scoring. Nathan Gentry is down pit road. Now I want to check in on Jacob Bradley. So to give you an idea, Bradley's closing the gap. Pienta in second clicked off of 43.79 for what I'd imagine is fuel saving. No, Pienta's going to come down pit road. He doesn't think he's going to make it. Cosner staying out with 5 laps left to go. Bradley's now up into second. Rapp will move up into third. Cosner last time by of 42.33. Bradley of 42.65, slower than the leader. Rapp in third, clicked off a 42-second flat, so he's only gaining 0.3 at a time. Bradley and Rapp are surely hoping that Cosner is going to be short on fuel here. This is going to be very, very interesting. I think we're going to see drivers spitting and sputtering as they cross the line. Cosner a 42.2. Bradley a 42.49. I think Bradley's making sure he's going to have enough fuel to make it till the end here. 4 laps left to go at Michigan. Cosner still your race leader, an 8.6 second margin. Ashton Cosner, Tony Caputo down pit road very, very late. Is Cosner coming down pit road? He is! Cosner with his final stop. This is going to put Bradley maybe into the race lead here. I'm sure Bradley's doing a massive amount of fuel saving. I think Rapp, who's going to take over second here, doing even more fuel saving. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Bradley and Rapp are going to be feathering the throttle. Meanwhile, you've got Dustin Bali now in third, who's going to be holding it wide here. Bali 14.2 seconds back from Bradley. I don't think he would have enough time to make it on raw speed alone. He's going to really hope that Bradley and Rapp didn't do the math just quite perfectly. Let's see what the lap time is for Bradley. The lap prior was a 41.79. 42 flat this time. Rapp with a 42.69. They are over a second slower than Dustin Bally, who's sitting in third. Oh, this is going to be really close. Bradley and Rapp fully committed to the strategy here. Is it going to pay off for these top two drivers? It is all or nothing, a fuel gamble here at Michigan. Let's see if we can go grab an onboard with Jacob Bradley. White flag is out. Bradley just needs to make it one more time to pick up the win. Not as much fuel saving as I thought I would hear from Bradley. He is not full-blown clutching it. He's still got a little bit of throttle input here. A half lap left to go. Can he make it? This would be Bradley's second win of the season if he can make it happen. His second win, the first driver to maybe make it two. He makes it his way around turns 3 and 4 for the final time. He's going to do it. Jacob Bradley with a massive fuel strategy picks up the win. Johnny Rapp on the same strategy makes it happen for second. And Dustin Bally, his debut here at the Sparks Racing League, picks up the top 3. And Jacob Bradley, he coasting right now? He is. I don't know how much of the victory burnouts we're gonna get here tonight, but I'm gonna imagine not much. As I think Bradley's getting a push there from Pienta, helping him make it to the line so he can wave to the fans. Let's see, is there anything left in the tank for a burnout, or is that all we've got for Bradley? Yeah, Bradley left some left over for the fans here at Michigan. And is going to burn it down in the Lowe's back, number 50. Well done. I can't believe he made that happen on strategy. That was probably one of the best strategy calls I've seen in a long time. We're going to get these drivers up here to victory lane. Up first, old-time friend, first-time caller here at the Spark Truck Series, Dustin Bally, in your debut. Welcome to the top 3, my friend.
This is becoming a nice little occurrence.
Yeah, I mean, you do super speedways, you do road courses, and it seems like you came out at the right time to make something happen.
Yeah, I like this track a lot. We had some success couple seasons ago. I actually finished, I believe, behind Steve Loving and I think it was Evan Pienta who won this race. It's kind of a mix of a drafting and an oval track. So there's a lot of working your way through traffic. So it's not just fighting the track. You really got to navigate traffic, and the alternate fuel strategies really played a role because there were lots of guys who you'd come across who were faster and slower, and so it made it really interesting. It was a good race, but congratulations to Jacob and Johnny. They played that fuel strategy to perfection. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, so I had to stick with the alternate or the regular strategy, and fortunately paid off here at the podium.
Well, Dustin, good to have you back up here at the top 3. Gained 11 spots here tonight, so a fantastic debut, the Spark Truck Racing Series. Before I let you go and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen?
Thanks you to the Spark admins for letting me race with them tonight. Robert Probst, Johnny Rapp, Jacob Bradley. It's always fun being here. Personally, shout out to my wife Rebecca, parents Tom and Deb, and anyone else who's watching, friends or family. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Dustin, always a pleasure, bud, and hope to have you back up here next week at Watkins Glen.
All right, thanks, James. See ya.
That was Dustin Volley, his season debut, bringing it home. And third, up next, good friend Johnny Rapp, the number 52 machine. Johnny, how white-knuckle were you those last 2 laps looking at that fuel gauge?
Not too white-knuckle. I probably saved a little too much, really. I mean, I ran out, like, on the backstretch, on the cooldown. But, yeah, I don't know. That was not very fun, but hey, I'll take it.
Now, with that opening caution on lap 8, do you think that's kind of what put you and Bradley in that must-save situation?
So, not so much for Jacob, but for me, definitely, because I took tires. So at that point, it was like, okay, I got one more pit stop, and that's it. So, but yeah, Jacob, he didn't take tires, so I mean, he would have been okay if there was a caution or something, but that was my only hope, was for it to run out, and I saved just enough. So.
Well, made it happen. Now, Johnny, what's your thoughts going to the road course next week? Throwing some right-handers in the mix, maybe a jump if you do the back section wrong at Watkins Glen. What are you thinking going into that one?
Well, I do like me some road courses, especially in the stock cars. So I don't know. I think that'll be a fun race. Watkins Glen will be a pretty competitive one, I think, throughout the field. It's not I don't want to say easy, but it's one that everyone's probably ran enough. So I think it'll be some tight racing, and you'll see some aggressive side-by-side action at a road course, you know?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans are as well. Johnny, another great points night for you in that number 52 machine. Before I let you sign off and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen for you?
Yeah, well, I'd like to shout out the family. They're out in the living room watching. You for putting on the show, everybody that helps put this league on, and all the guys that show up. You know, it's been pretty exciting all throughout the field. I've been on both ends of it so far. So shout out to everyone for, putting on a good show.
Well, always a great race wherever we're at. Always a pleasure having you up here. And again, congratulations on that second place.
Thank you.
That was Johnny Rapp bringing it home in second. Up next, the man, the myth, the fuel-saving legend, Jacob Bradley. Welcome to the top spot, buddy. The first driver to get 2 wins so far this season.
I'm shocked that I was able to win a fuel mileage race on iRacing. I've never been able to do that before, and just worked out in my favor. Me and John over there were able to save a bunch of gas, and I just got lucky with a lap car there and coasted to the line.
But still had enough left in the tank for a bit of a burnout, which we really appreciate up here in the booth.
Yeah, I had about 0.3 gallons when I crossed the line. I got a little bit of help from John and a little bit more help from Evan to push me to start-finish line, and then drove my way to victory lane, do a couple burnouts like Kyle Larson does down in those infield victory lanes, see what I can show put on.
Now, Jacob, you came into tonight fourth in points. You might have moved up as far as second by the time the dust has settled. How are you feeling for the rest of the season that now all of a sudden you're right there back in the mix in that number 50 machine?
I mean, a lot of people had expected me to kind of rise to the occasion in this, and I had a really bad couple of weeks to start with Daytona, Atlanta. I'm glad that I was able to put 2 races together, and I'm glad that this race went in my favor. I guess it's kind of the luck changing tides here.
Now, we've kind of asked everybody, Jacob, but what's the feelings going into Watkins Glen, the one road course on the schedule next week?
Out of all the road courses that we could go to, I'm glad it's Watkins. I have a lot more experience there. It's a fast road course that I'm sure it's going to put on some good racing. We'll see what I can do. I'm hoping for at minimum a top 5.
Awesome. Looking forward to you guys put on a great show tonight. I'm sure next week it's just going to be just as awesome. And Jacob, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this second win of the season possible for you?
I want to thank all the drivers for showing out, putting on a good race. Only having 1 caution and a 125-mile race here in Michigan is something to be proud of. We had 26 trucks here today. I want to thank everybody in Spark for helping me run this league, all the admins, John, Randy, Nathan, Robert, Dade, helping me put this on. And I want to thank you for doing the broadcast and all the people watching at home.
Awesome. Jacob, always a pleasure having you up here, man. Again, congratulations on the second win, and hopefully we'll see you up here a bunch this season.
Thanks, man.
That was Jacob Bradley bringing it home in the top spot with, as you heard, I think it was 0.3 gallons left at the line. He was accompanied by Johnny Rapp in second and Dustin Bally rounding out the top three. On behalf of the Spark Truck Series at the Spark Racing League, my name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much to the fans, friends, and family who tuned in from across the world supporting these drivers as well as the league, and I look forward to having you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.